Good morning, everyone. This is Bhutani with Remax Excellence.
Hi everyone, this is Sid. I'm a mortgage specialist with Mortgage Alliance.
We have Tiffany from Rohit Communities today with us, and we will be talking more in detail about different neighborhoods and price points that Rohit offered, and the COVID effect. How is Rohit reacting to it post-COVID? Well, not post-COVID, we're still in it.
Yeah.
Still got to be careful. And of course, with newer CMHC guidelines, how will it really affect the new home market and new home sales after July 1st? And of course, a lot of pre-sale, spec home options, and some promotions that Rohit have out there in the market right now that we as buyers should be aware of. So welcome, Tiffany. Thanks for doing this for us.
Hi, thanks so much. I'm excited to be here.
Perfect. So just to start off with, so what neighborhoods and what price points is Rohit really aggressive in right now in terms of products and what they really have out there for products for people?
Awesome, thanks. For those of you that don't know us, Rohit is both a land developer and a builder, and we tend to buy in all of our land development positions, but we also buy from other developers. Mm-hmm. And our goal has always been to kind of stay right around the ring road. So we stay in communities that are real close to the Anthony Henday so that people have good access to travel the city. Our heaviest concentration of homes has always been in the Southwest. Which is where we are very heavy right now in both Arbors of Keswick, Ridgecrest, Saxony, the Allard community we're still in. So we're really heavy in that Southwest community. And our bread and butter, or what we've always done really, really well with, is both duplexes and our townhome positions. But it by no means limits what we build everything from the $150,000 stacked townhome to a $600,000 beautiful bungalow.
So most of your sales, you would say, would be kind of more the duplex townhomes. Most of the sales, in the sense, like majority.
We probably have a majority, in duplex and townhome positions.
Okay.
And so when we're talking about townhomes, are we talking about townhomes with condo fees or with no condo fees? What are we looking at?
Well, cool news, we have both.
Okay.
Now, why I say it's cool is because we have Essential Allard and Starling Landing, which is Essential Allard, of course, in the Allard community, Starling Landing up right close to St. Albert on the northwest side of Edmonton. Mm-hmm. And we just introduced in those communities no condo fees for 2 years. So even though there are condo fees for the buyer, you get 2 years without having to pay them right now, and that's till the end of August. So if you buy a townhome in those communities, you don't have condo fees for the next 2 years. But in Arbors of Keswick and Ridgecrest, we've got a fee simple, which means no condo fees, townhomes as well. So we kind of have a little bit of everything in the townhome market.
And what would they be priced at?
We start under $300. So when you're in the Essential Allard product, you can go as low as about $145,000, $150,000, and then we hit right around the $300 mark for the rest of our townhomes.
That's
300 or less.
Yeah,
or less.
Well, especially the fact that there's no condo fees, right? I mean, it's a townhome.
Yeah.
Shared living, of course, in terms of common walls and stuff.
Right.
But no condo fees is a big, big plus, because these days buyers out there are getting more aware as to what all is involved in condo fees. And I guess this product is something that will be out in the market as an option, as a great option for people to get into and put their investment into.
No doubt about it.
So moving on, Tiffany, COVID effect. Of course, we've been in this pandemic since early March when things started to close down. Of course, we're getting better. Things have started to reopen. We're in phase 2 right now. Phase 3 will be kind of coming here soon as well. But last 2-3 months, no matter in terms of our sales going up or down, we've had a tough time, all of us. Personally, professionally, of course, the work has kind of taken a bit of a hit. So how has Rohit reacted with this pandemic? And of course, has it really affected the new home sales?
It has probably affected the new home sales positively. So one of the things that we didn't know what to expect when March 16th came and they said they were closing down schools, and we didn't know what we were in for really. Mm-hmm. And really what we realized is people became very hesitant to go in previously owned homes. People became hesitant to go into homes that people were living in. And so for us, it ended up being a little bit of a blessing in disguise, because people became very interested in homes that no one had ever lived in, that we've had a cleaner in, they knew they had been disinfected. And I mean, on the other side of it, with Rohit Communities, under our umbrella of companies, we have a tech company called Tech to Build. And so for about the last year, we've been fully capable of writing a deal online.
Nice.
So COVID didn't force us to go that route.
Right.
We were already there. So when it came to people maybe
Makes sense.
not wanting to come into the show home, we could do it all for them, however they were comfortable. Whether that was on Zoom or we would FaceTime them,
Right.
That's right.
whatever was most convenient for them,
Right.
we could write the contract fully online, send it to them digitally
Right.
to sign.
Right.
And then if they wanted a walkthrough of the house or whatever, we could of course arrange that so that they were the only ones in the home. So we were in some ways ahead of the game. We didn't have a chat function,
Right.
so we jumped
Right.
on that, but it took us about 4 days.
Wow.
And we got that up and running as well. So we're really fortunate that we are a tech background or tech-based company.
I see. Well, technology is, of course, taking.
It's changing the way
yeah.
everything works.
Everything is changed.
Getting better
Everything.
like every month, I would say. I mean, in terms of what the new stuff is coming out, right? And of course, with COVID, going online and then doing things virtually
Right.
has been the trend.
I think this is the only positive thing about COVID.
Yeah.
It probably
That we
took what would have
Yeah.
taken us 3 or 4 years
Right.
and had us do it in 3 or 4 months. And when I say us,
Exactly.
I don't mean Rohit Communities. I mean
In general.
in
Industry.
general,
Yeah,
out
right.
there, we've all had to make these changes, and we've adapted so much quicker than we would have if we just got to take the incremental steps that would be a normal
Oh, that's
phase in
good.
of technology. So
Right.
really cool in that respect.
Perfect. So Tiffany, would you like to talk about any of the upcoming communities that you have? I know you kind of briefly touched about what areas you usually build, but anything that you're focusing on in the years to come from now on?
Absolutely, I would. I think what we are most excited about, or the two communities we are probably most excited about, are Arbors of Keswick and Ridgecrest, which is right beside Saxony Glen. So Ridgecrest and Saxony Glen sometimes get lumped into the same community, but just the product offerings in Ridgecrest and Saxony Glen, there is everything. There is everything from the large RSL homes. We don't build them, but they are available
Right.
there.
Right.
But we build duplexes, we build townhomes, we build single family, both front attached single family and the rear detached single family in Saxony. So it's kind of got a little bit of everything. And then in the Arbors of Keswick, with the new school being announced, a new K-9 school was just announced.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
I mean, that community is so beautiful to start with.
Right.
I mean, it's got the Gordon King Pond,
Right.
which is an incredible feature, and an incredible man. Like the story behind Gordon King is awesome.
Right.
And same thing, we've just got so many product offerings there. And now with the school, the Church of God is being built there. So there's more than just residential coming in. And it's a really exciting time in both of those communities.
Right.
Good to know.
Now I've also heard there's going to be a future rec center or a recreation center right at Rabbit Hill and 170th Street somewhere. Is that
We have heard the same. We are not actively, well, when I say we, I should say we as in Rohit Communities, the home building arm,
Right.
aren't actively involved in what's going on there, but I'm sure our land development side is.
Okay.
They tend to be far more involved with some of those bigger projects
Sure.
than the home building arm.
Yeah,
they
and
have
if
more
that
updates.
was to happen, I guess Saxony Glen, Arbors of Keswick, these are going to be top.
Yeah, they'll get a
places to
big
be in.
boost, right? No
Yeah.
doubt, because that's what buyers would look at. They
Yeah.
also look at the appreciation in terms of the value, right? If they were to invest into a certain neighborhood, what
Yeah.
are the chances they can really kind of make some good money later on?
That's right.
Well, even the parks, like,
You're right.
outdoor parks in both Ridgecrest and Arbors of Keswick are up, and we're building them, and we always want to ensure that when families come in, that there's something more. I mean, there's the trails
Yes.
around the pond, there's
Right.
outdoor park space. That's very important to us. Like, when Radhi and Krishna Gupta first started the company, their goal was very much, they wanted it to be generational. They wanted grandparents to live in the estate home,
That's right.
the child to maybe live in a smaller single family, and a grandchild to move into a townhome,
That's
and to
right.
be able to experience that generational connected
Nice.
in those communities. So it's always been very important to us.
So the great stuff with Rohit is they've got a product for every generation,
I
right?
agree.
No matter what your budget is, no matter what neighborhoods you really want to get into, Rohit will have some sort of option out there for the buyers. Tiffany, CMHC guidelines, of course, talk of the town. July
Talk of
1st
the town.
surely is, eh? So CMHC guidelines that will be in effect July 1st. What do you think Rohit might have to do in order to kind of cope with it. And of course the fact that, we all know with these new rules that CMHC is bringing on, they're tightening their policies and stuff, which will really affect buyers' affordability by a certain percentage, right? So what do you think? Do you see Rohit kind of focusing more on smaller builds these days? Like, I know you've kind of done a lot of duplexes and townhomes, but do you see a lot more of that happening right now instead of single family homes or homes that are priced of like over 450, 500, 550?
Our reality is we probably will pare down from the, over 500 stuff, but I am shocked at how vibrant the market is. For that single family home in the 450 to 500, it's still very strong. CMHC will change things, but some of the things that we also kind of took on in the last year is we've modified our entire product library, and probably by the end of this year there won't be a single offering we have that doesn't have the opportunity to have a basement suite in it, like a legal suite.
That was actually my next question.
we've put in side doors. Probably right now we're at about 70%. That includes our townhomes. So in Ridgecrest currently we've got our townhome, but we stopped, and the next batch that will come, the end units will have side door and they can have a legal basement suite.
That's interesting.
So we're really upping our product lines that it fits more with what people need and want.
Yeah, Sid knows a lot about that, because if there's a suite option in the basement, he can surely get approved for a higher amount.
Right.
His clients, right? So
exactly. And then we have options where we can use 100% of the potential rental income coming out of the legal basement suite. So that's really exciting. I myself personally am a big fan of having suite in the basement. Of course, we've done a video as well. Our viewers will kind of relate to that. But I myself, as I said, I am into it completely. I mean, if there's an investment opportunity, why not have it in the basement? And you've got a control on it, right? It does increase the value for home as well. So why not? That's great that Rohit is actually offering that option now going forward. Right. And great. And so do you offer building legal basement suites as well, or do you
We do.
Okay,
yep.
Perfect.
Yep. So we have a lot of people that just want the side door for future potential.
Right.
Which is great. I mean, they're more than allowed to do that. But if they want to have a legal suite, we are also happy to build that. And there's actually, we have a show home with a legal suite in it in Edmonton East. And it shows absolutely beautiful. Even when I knew it, I'd seen it on a plan, I'd seen, the process of going through the design of it. But when you actually walk it, I was amazed at how fantastic it looks. Like, it's got the same finishings as the home. You've got beautiful blue cabinets. It's beautiful still. And you get that opportunity for some rental income in your basement.
Nice. No, I am a big fan of legal suites for sure. Both as a mortgage broker and as an investor. So
but it helps us out with the process, right? So instead of kind of stressing on what we can really get our clients approved for, just kind of throw some options out for us. Surely. Any special promotions, Tiffany, Rohit is working on right now, or they already have it out there in the market? As you would have seen, there are different builders and developers offering like a complete landscaping promo, deck, garage, fencing, and all that stuff. Any promotions or any special products that you've got out there, which you really want to talk to us about?
I think the biggest thing that I want to talk about or mention again is the no condo fees. So that is huge. I mean, Essential Allard, this is one of your last opportunities to live in Allard. Allard is almost done, and that is an incredible community. And I mean, in there, we're from the 150s. So everything is under 300 in our Essential Allard product. That's when you work closely with Fatty Georgie, but that's one of his projects. And we are, now that we've introduced no condo fees as well, I'm down to about only 20 left. And they're going to go fast, right? They'll be 100% complete, and that product is going to fly. So, I mean, the no condo fees is huge for us. We haven't done this for 8 or 9 years. I think I was selling the last time that we did no condo fees. So it's been a long time. But on top of that, there is the designer savings event, which we have gone through absolutely every community, and we have reduced prices on a lot of our spec inventory.
Right.
So where we have some standing inventory, and when I say standing, it doesn't mean it's complete.
Right.
Doesn't mean it might mean that it's at drywall stage.
Right.
It means
Okay.
that you will get to move in within about the next 3 months. Some of it is standing and complete,
Yeah.
Right.
but it is at some stage of construction. So we've literally gone through every community. So when you say,
Nice.
is there one specific thing?
No.
Nope.
No.
It is across the board with Rohit
That's-
Communities right
that's
now.
really good. Options, that's all we're after these days, right? We need to have options on the table,
Right.
right? Before we can kind of make an informed decision.
For sure.
So with what's the ratio between pre-sale and spec right now? I've been talking to Fatty time and again, and he does say that right now, of course, not just Rohit, we've seen a number of builders out there really low on inventory, which is a good sign. I mean, we see the market going up in terms of newer homes. A lot of sales out there, a lot of people looking for newer homes, and we don't have a lot of options out there. So what do you think Rohit is focusing on moving forward, post-COVID, post the new CMHC guidelines, which will be coming soon? Would Rohit be focusing more on a pre-sale right now? For bigger homes, I understand for duplexes and townhomes, you still might have a lot of options out there. But for bigger homes, like single families over 450, 500, 550.
We are actually doing a little of both. So we did just schedule to ground some spec inventory of single family houses.
Okay.
So typically, as a builder, we don't put a lot of spec into a single family home. That tends to be more of a pre-sale market. But with the shortage of spec inventory right now, we felt it was prudent to put some in the ground, right? Because there are a lot of people that, maybe they're not looking today, but they're going to come in September,
Right.
and they don't want to wait 6 months or 8 months.
You're right.
So if we've already got a basement in September,
Right.
Right.
they're 4 months to owning a home. So they could literally
Which is
be
not
in
bad.
before the end of the year.
That's
So
right.
we have put a little bit of the single family stuff in. When I say a little bit, I mean maybe 15, 20 units,
Okay.
mostly in that southwest corridor.
Right.
Of single family, and then we've got spec inventory for duplexes and townhomes that we will continue to put to ground. We will
Okay.
always have some of that available.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have flipped a little bit. Typically, we're probably about a 75-25.
Right.
75% of our business is done through spec inventory
Okay. Good.
and 25% pre-sale.
Right.
We're probably maybe up to about a 60-40.
Oh, okay.
With the shortage of spec inventory for everyone.
Right.
Yes, it's a Rohit Communities problem, but it's also a problem for many other builders.
Yeah,
No doubt.
sure.
So, I mean, you're forced into it.
Right.
And it gives people a little bit more choice. I mean, I'm not going to tell anyone that we're a custom builder. I'm not.
Right.
We're a production builder with a lot of great options, standard structural options. So
Right.
the house may not have a mother-in-law suite, but I've got that option that you can add in without that
Yes.
being a custom change. So we do have a lot of opportunities. We're open 100% to some pre-sales,
Right.
but we're still more heavily
On the spec.
on the spec inventory,
Right.
100%.
So talk. Sorry.
Sorry, but coming to spec homes and being a mortgage broker, I think I would like to mention here that as a mortgage broker, even we have better or special pricing or special interest rates on quick possession homes, so houses that are available in the next 90 to 120 days. We always have better offers for such products. So.
Right.
And I think it's an uncertain time,
You're
right?
right.
And
It is.
and people, whether it's because of COVID or whether it's because of the price of oil
Right.
or whatever's affecting you personally,
That's
there's
right.
some uncertainty in this Alberta market, and
You're right.
so a lot of times people want that 90 to 120 days. They're too unsure of what will happen past that 90-day mark.
Exactly.
So we want to make sure that there's something for those people. We want to make
course.
sure that there's still product in the ground that we can turn
Yeah.
relatively quickly for them.
Yeah, well,
For
buyers
sure.
still need to really get into a model, or they really want to see something before they can kind of make that call.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I've seen, right?
Right.
So, I mean, of course, we show homes. There's so many spec homes out there in the market. You still can find something that you can actually take your clients into,
Right.
and then possibly get them to make a decision based on that. But yeah, no, I mean, 100%. So with pre-sale, Tiffany, how much is Rohit Communities open to customization?
We're not a custom builder.
Okay.
Our reality is we don't do a ton of customization, but as I said, what we tend to do very well is we don't build on ego, for lack of better words. So it's not really important for us for someone to walk into the front and be like, oh, oh my gosh, this is so grand and beautiful. It's
right.
more important for the family that lives there
Yeah.
to really function in that home at top notch. We want that family to feel good about living in that home more than we want their friends to be, awestruck by that
Right.
open area in the front.
Right.
So for us, we have tried to think about all of the things that will make that home more functional
Right.
and have those as standard structural options. So a lot of what you think you may need, we've already thought of. So
Nice.
if what you need is instead of a 5-foot tub and a 3-foot shower, you want a bigger just 5-foot walk-in shower. We've already thought of that. If you need a mother-in-law suite on the main floor, we've thought of that. If you need a spice kitchen, we've already thought of that. So a lot of what people think of as customization, we've brought down to a standard structural option.
Okay.
So they're available in a lot of our homes. As far as if you come in and you say, oh, I want to move this wall and I want that bedroom to be over there.
Right.
That's not us.
Okay.
But we have thought through a lot of the things that are going to make how you live in your home
Right.
top notch.
So in regards to these small changes that you've just talked about, at what point do you want the buyers to let the builder know that they're wanting, say, a shower instead of a tub, or maybe railing instead of a stub wall, or smaller upgrades? Like you've got preset upgrades kind of set on a document, and of course you can give those upgrades outright. But at what point do you think buyers should really make that call? Should I be going ahead and making that change?
For us, we like the changes. Well, number one, prior to condition removal. We don't like a whole lot of changes to happen after condition removal.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's a whole lot different than many builders. Some do, some don't, depending on how much they customize. But the other side for us is we build fast.
Yeah.
So when you build as quickly as we do, you literally once you're framing, all changes are done. I mean, once the roof is on, we're calling for cabinets.
Yes.
So although cabinets won't be there for maybe 6-8 weeks,
Back order,
that's how quickly we've got to order them. So as you're putting a roof on a house, I'm calling for cabinets. So people think, oh well, your roof's just going on. I can change my kitchen layout. I can change my.
No.
Not with us.
Right.
We tend to move pretty quick,
Yeah.
and so those things have to be done at the forefront.
Yeah, for all you build like Rohit Communities, of course, that's the way it should be, right? The more changes you make slows down the process.
Slows down the
Right.
process,
Yeah.
and slowing down the process costs money
Yeah.
for both the buyer
Surely.
and for us, right?
Right.
So
Right. And one last thing, Tiffany, I would like to cover here is I get the most common question I get from a lot of my buyer clients is the fact that with their down payment that they've set aside, 5%, 10%, 20%, whatever, they do ask me a lot in terms of what the closing costs will be, what the lawyer fees are. I have seen some builders out there covering that. Is that something Rohit is also open to, and is that something they're offering as well?
it is something that we can get into the contract.
Okay.
My personal preference, if we want to go to my personal preference, I did sell for many years, so I was in a show home selling.
Right.
My preference isn't to pick your lawyer for you any more than it's to pick your broker or your realtor.
That's right.
I will give you a list of people that I trust,
Right.
and I will give you the list of their costs.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's most important that the client is comfortable with the people they choose to work with.
I agree.
So in order for you to be comfortable, if I give you 4 people, I
Right.
want you to go talk to them all.
Yeah.
You pick who you think is best for you, because especially a lawyer, I've worked with so many first-time buyers. That lawyer you need to be able to connect with. Many lawyers, it's like this: sign, sign,
Yeah.
sign, and
Exactly.
you don't know what you're signing. And if
Yeah.
you don't have somebody who you're comfortable saying, I don't want to sign yet, can you explain it to me one more time?
Right.
And to me, it's the same thing with your mortgage broker, with your realtor. If it's not somebody who will slow down
Right.
and walk you through that process, especially as a first-time home buyer, it's not the right fit. And if I say, here's the one you have to use,
Right.
because I'm going to offer this through contract,
Right.
they may disappoint. And not because they're bad, but because it doesn't click.
Yeah.
You
Right.
need to click with
Completely.
the people you work with. You want this to be exciting. It's
Yeah,
a
of
great
course.
experience.
A good
Buying a
experience as
home
well. Yeah.
is a big experience, and it should be very exciting.
Right.
And if you're working with people you don't click with,
Right.
Yeah.
that diminishes the experience.
Well, this is one of the most important decisions one would make when you get into real estate investment, right? So
You're right.
as Tiffany said, I mean, I strongly agree with her. You got to be comfortable with the closing lawyer. You're right.
Exactly.
You have to ask the right questions. There is no point having surprises later on, right? So
I
any
agree.
questions, might as well get the answers from the lawyer itself.
You're
before
right.
you kind of sign on those documents, because you're actually doing a long-term commitment. So
You're
you
right.
better do your homework right.
I agree.
The only thing with a lawyer that I like to say is a lot of people choose to use a friend of their mom's or a friend of their dad's that's not a real estate lawyer.
Right.
That costs you more money, not less.
Yeah.
Some brief
Because
as well,
a lot of mistakes happen. They're not used to real estate law.
Right.
So please find someone that specializes. It would be like choosing to use someone who doesn't typically offer a mortgage to get you a mortgage. They
right.
don't know
That's
what
right.
they're doing, right?
Exactly.
Like
Completely.
you go to a specialist or an expert for a reason.
That's
Yes.
right.
And it's really important when you're finding a lawyer or a broker, a realtor, a builder, to find somebody that you trust and you mesh with.
Right.
Great. This was really good
Yeah.
information, Tiffany. Thanks again
Awesome.
for coming out and doing this for us.
Exactly. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Pleasure.
was really good. Thank you for watching our video, and yeah, have a great day ahead.
Thank you, guys. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day. Bye bye.